Welcome to the Miami Heat Beat Postgame show. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas. And folks, a 10th Miami Heat Beat regular season in the books with me today. Very importantly, my producer, co-founder, Brian Goins, who has been here with me all 10 seasons. Big 1-0. Our 11th year, 10th regular season. You had it right. The camera flipped.
Okay.
Brian, I asked you because I know that you've been really busy and you haven't done too much postgame coverage, but I thought today would be special because, it is our 10th regular season together doing this, and it's our 11th season because we started in during a playoff run, and man, it's been special, bro.
Yeah, man, it's been crazy that we've been doing this for 10 years, and that first year was the only championship we've gotten a chance to cover, and we've been waiting for one ever since, and we've gotten close twice. We'll see how this year goes.
They made the finals the next year.
That is true. Yeah, 3 times.
Yeah.
And we haven't gotten over the hump since then. I kind of want to change that this season. That'd be nice to close it off official 10 years. I know we did a 10-year kind of thing last playoff run, but really 10 years would be, I guess, Eastern Conference Finals this year would be like the official 10.
It'd be the 11th.
Would it be 11? Oh, it would be like the very end of the 10th. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyways, I just want to see us fucking win a championship. Because I honestly don't know when we'll see one again. I feel like this is the end of the build.
Way to be a doomer, bro. We're supposed to be happy
this year as a 7 seed or 8 seed. We're gonna be looking at a long
way to go, Brian. You ruined it. Also with me today, Franky G.
Heat win.
Heat win. What a fucking
Bulls are playing overtime right now.
Bulls are playing overtime against the Knicks. The winner, if New York wins that game, they become the 2 seed. If they lose, they become the 3. They stay the 3 seed. They are tied with Milwaukee. Heat win. Everybody else wins. The Sixers win, the Magic win, and the Pacers win, meaning that Miami's stuck at 8. So they will play. Philly will host Miami in the first game of the play-in on Wednesday. It was supposed to be on Tuesday, but apparently there is a hockey conflict with Philly.
Off your Flyers.
So Miami will have to play on Wednesday for the play-in game, actually ruining my dad's birthday plan. So sorry, Dad. I'm going to have to reschedule that reservation. Chat says Frank missed the hat memo. Why?
Cool, they're not going to win that play-in game.
Well, it's my job to work it. Chat says he needs
You don't even take a paycheck.
At this point, we absolutely do need an Aloe sponsor at this point. But yeah, guys, so I don't think there's much to talk about in the game today. Let's just talk about it a little bit and then kind of get into really what we're all here for. I think the biggest takeaway from today is Jaquez looked kind of back. I think that's kind of, he's put it together, Franky, a few games of good play. Tonight he had 18, 4 and 5, 6 of 12 shooting. Didn't hit a 3, but got 7 free throws. Only a turnover, 1 foul. I think he's kind of rounding back into form since he got hurt, and I think that could not come at a better time.
Yeah, last 2 games against Toronto showed out. Just looked physically better, more comfortable getting to his spots, finding his spaces on the floor to operate and take advantage of, and playmaking. That was something that was big that he was doing a lot of when he started kind of breaking out, was handling the ball, making decisions, kind of breathing that point guard off the bench, or when he started for Jimmy. And he had a lot of bad games where he just wasn't really involved. He's just in the corner, looking for his cuts and stuff. But he got to make more plays. 9 assists last game, 5 assists today. I think he's a really good passer, and I like him handling the ball a lot more than Caleb. So I don't get why they're not in each other's roles right now, but I digress. But yeah, he physically he looks better, and he can do so much more when the shot isn't falling, that I hate just sticking him in the corner and hoping his shot falls.
I think that, and we've talked about this a lot with Lou and throughout the end of the postgame shows, they need some of his downhill momentum to get some half-court offense. Brian, you're nodding your head. The footwork on the post-ups, I think that he settled a little bit, not getting blocked as often. I think he's smoking some layups, but I feel like the finishing is kind of coming back too. I think that he's getting to game speed. And I think it's natural that a guy with his kind of game was going to go through that hardship in the middle. But Brian, if he is coming back into form to where he was prior to the injury, I think that absolutely changes Miami's outlook like 200%. He's a huge rotational piece for them that we were talking about. Is Jaime out of the rotation 2 weeks ago? And now we're having this conversation, which I just think is huge.
I mean, it's great. I mean, it's great that we're getting good contributions from, him, and obviously Haywood's been playing pretty well as of late. Caleb's been really on and off. Like, he's been so streaky at this point. Like, I can't trust him to play heavy minutes in a playoff series. But, I mean, we're going to need all three of them, especially if Love is potentially going to be missing some extra time. We'll see. I mean, they've reported like a arm contusion or something from this game. He didn't play the rest of the first and second half after he went to the locker room. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, we're going to need all three of them, and eventually Love whenever he gets back to make another deep playoff run. And I don't know we're still starting Jovic, at least unless they go down like 0-2 in a series, and maybe they might change it up. But I think they'll start Jovic and run with that lineup. Who they'll close with, it's going to have to go to the hot hand between those three. I would imagine they probably would like to see if they can keep maybe Haywood or Jovic, just because their defense has been better as of late. I don't feel like Caleb has been as strong on a defensive end. I think his contributions have been more on the offensive end than defensive late. And it's not even that great offensively, like I mentioned earlier. But yeah, there's going to be a good 4-man rotation on that wing side that Spo's going to have to play. And I would like Jaime to actually get those opportunities, because I do think he can be one of those guys that gets you those late buckets when things break down offensively. He's kind of proven that, especially like in the NCAA tournament. Like when I was watching that run that he had with UCLA, that was the guy that they gave the ball to late when they needed a bucket, and he delivered quite often. So I think he could do something similar to us in the playoffs. But obviously, it's really going to boil down to who's the hot hand and who can survive defensively, depending on who the matchup is in the first round.
So before we get into round one here, let's talk as New York trails Chicago by 2 into the first overtime. Miami has a bit of a problem because Kevin Love has suffered an upper arm contusion, is what the Heat are calling it.
I didn't see what happened. How did he get hurt?
I don't. Franky, did you? Because I didn't see the play at all.
No, I didn't see it. He was he just
I
got
saw him
banged.
on the bench. I just saw him on the bench, like looking down, like holding
just
something.
grabbing his elbow.
Was his elbow? Yeah, that's what it looked like too.
Yeah. Well, so they said contusion, upper arm contusion specifically. So, I guess right. And I'm waiting for word. I asked Ethan, who's at the arena, for any word on that. I'm checking Barry and Anthony's Twitter accounts as well, Anthony Chang, to see if we get any updates on that. So we'll keep you updated. Hopefully he's well. Thomas Bryant has actually looked pretty good in his backup minutes as of late. Today he played well.
He plays against the bad teams.
I understand, and I'm not here to do anything, but
just like that Trailblazers game, he would look great against a bottom feeder.
Yeah, I mean. Love being hurt is kind of a catastrophe for them. He's just so good. Shout out to Tiffany Meeks, who says got us on in the car. Love you, Tiff. She's the GOAT. So yeah.
How the hell was Orlando Robinson a -8 in 2 minutes?
Bro, he's totally getting cut next year.
He has not been very good. And,
no, it was all the guys they put in at the end. It's Alondis, Cole,
Thomas Bryant's going to play.
They're lucky they gave him a non-guaranteed contract next season.
They're not lucky. They did that on purpose. You think that Andy's fucking around, Brian?
No, you think Simon scouts too hard for all that shit.
Scouts too hard for all that shit. So, just wanted to give you guys the quick Kevin Love update. How are we? Anything else you guys want to talk about the game before we kind of get into vibes and all that? Because we're gonna do a proper preview. So
yeah, I like Tyler as of late. Like and honestly, I think this is what's gonna happen. Like Duncan might come back because it seemed like he was questionable to play today's game, but obviously they didn't really need him. I don't think Duncan's coming back as a starter anytime soon.
No way.
He'll have to come off the bench, and I think Hero is now your starter again.
Yeah, Tyler.
It's crazy how this all like flips back and forth. We were talking about how Hero has to come off the bench, and he was going to take that role, and now all of a sudden he's a starter again. He looks great.
Apparently, this Nick Bulls game is pretty crazy. Our chat's going off about that. So New York is up 3 now with 2 minutes to go.
I thought they were down 2.
They were down, and now they're up. Now they're up that. So the time we go.
Let me see
we had.
how you want to play. You want to play how many minutes these guys have played on the Knicks, real quick.
Oh, dude!
Oh,
yes.
This is hilarious. This is hilarious.
Oh, whoa! They're really going for this game.
I got to see. The Frankie's just whoa. Oh my goodness gracious!
Dante DiVincenzo's played 50.
Has Dante DiVincenzo sat?
I don't know how
Doesn't
many
look
minutes
like
are. So there's 48 minutes in a regular.
Jalen Brunson has played,
and then there's
39
how many
minutes
minutes are in overtime? 5, right?
5 minutes, yeah.
So he's played all but what 3?
That's crazy.
And that's not even true because there's still 2 minutes and 13 seconds left.
Yeah, he might not have come out the game.
He sat like 1 minute.
Brunson's got
Jimmy
40.
Butler game 7 against Boston where he sat like 30 seconds total.
Ananobi's played 40. And somehow these guys have played heavy minutes and they've played 10 guys. Yeah,
Oh
they played 9 guys.
And Josh Hart, the only reason he hasn't played the whole game, he's got 5 fouls.
Shout out to Jobbers. Happy 10th anniversary.
That's
to
true.
Miami Heat beat. Shout out to Chief Jumologist who resubscribed with Prime for 16 months. That's a year and change. Shout out to him. Jobbers asked very important question for G. What's been a crazier competition? The Heat trying to make the playoffs or the Kitauji concert band trying to make nationals? It's always Kitauji. Shout out to UFO, my favorite show. Back Aaron again. All right, guys. So Miami's going to play Philly on Wednesday. Again, I hate them because they have changed my plans. They're going to have Embiid, Maxey, Lowry, and those guys. Lowry's going to have a chance to ruin our lives. Especially my life. I'm not looking forward to that. Obviously not ideal. I think certainly Embiid has a question mark on his health. How is he going to look? How 100% is he going to be? Miami's going to go on the road, which I got to be honest with you, I'm not really moved by that at all because Miami has been really a very good road team all season.
Much better.
They've been. I think they have a better record on the road than at home.
Yep.
So their away record is 24-17.
They have the second best away record in the Eastern Conference.
Yes, behind the Celtics.
Hilarious.
And at home, Miami's 21-19. So barely 500 at home and good on the road. So quite funny. So they go into Philly. Frankie, we'll start with you, then we'll get into Brian. And we're gonna have a bigger preview. So tomorrow on Monday. We're collabing with 5 Reasons, and we're gonna do a big kind of look. Frankie has 5 Reasons on his water bottle. Shout out to Ballscast.
Oh, Ballscast, yeah.
OG pod.
Don't be an asshole.
Yeah, don't be an asshole. So we're gonna have a big preview with 5 Reasons tomorrow. Monday we're gonna have a big collab. Tuesday we'll do a proper preview, and then Wednesday we have the game. But we'll get into some of that right now. Frankie, how are we? I don't hate the matchup for Miami. And I know that a lot of people are just going to be like, Philly's a lot better. They've won 8 straight, closing out the season. They're closing hot. I have questions about Embiid in a 1-game sample, especially. I think that Miami can make his life very, very difficult. I think Spo's going to have that extra day to prepare. She's going to have Monday and Tuesday to get ready for this game. He's going to throw the whole kitchen sink at Embiid. We have the film. We know we got to do. The zone has been really effective against him, especially if Kevin Love's going to be available. They're going to have a lot of bodies. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Right. It's going to be a very shooting variance kind of game, depending on who can get hot. And that's where it favors Philly because they're the home team. But, you got Tyler back. Hopefully you get Terry and Duncan back to bring a bit and have Kevin available. That's really going to be the difference. Nico being able to be an aggressive spacer and take and make shots. Will be a huge difference. Philly, Nick Nurse, Kyle, they're going to want to pack the paint. They're going to try to close off the water inside. It's all on the Heat to spread it, the floor open, grease up the wheels inside. They really have to do a much better job in transition. They squandered way too many opportunities for easy buckets, and that could decide a game right there. And they need to take advantage, especially because, Philly can get out. Maxey's a one weapon fast break on his own, and they need to keep tabs on him because if he gets going, lets loose, that's the difference. That could be the whole difference right there. Just a lot of little things that they have to really worry about, and that's where the attention to detail that the Heat and Spo really work well with, that focusing on those little things that can be the difference. I just really think they have the pieces. This should be a good game, should be a good matchup. I don't think either team's going to be afraid of each other necessarily, but it's all about performance and execution in this time of the year.
So Ethan of 5 Reasons Sports reported that the Heat, Eric Spoelstra said that Kevin Love suffered a stinger. So good news, not too bad. Should be not a problem going into Wednesday's play-in game. Brian, I agree with what Franky said. I agree with everything what Franky said. The one matchup that does worry me more than Embiid though is Maxey.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how you guys feel. We'll start with Brian. We can go to Franky after, but the speed that he has, and I just don't think Miami has really has shown us an ability to contain guards that quick.
Nope.
No, I mean, you would hope. Here's the thing. I don't know if Rozier comes back, are you starting him right away with Hero on the backcourt? Because I feel like that becomes an issue.
Honestly, I expect the lineup to be the exact same.
Today?
Yeah,
with Caleb.
with Caleb, Tyler, with Nico, Jimmy, and Bam. The only thing I would consider is starting Highsmith over Caleb, but Caleb's played well. I doubt they will.
They won't. That's not their MO. I do think that I think Highsmith off the bench makes a little bit of sense too, because you can kind of run. He'll be able to play more. He'll be able to play more with some of those those less defensive minded units with Love, when I think they'll need the help to contain the dribble more than when Bam's on the floor. So I think kind of him and Love being together in the lineups. Yeah, I can see that. And I just honestly, I think that they're just going to play a lot of zone in those minutes as well. Let's see.
I see that.
Whether I think especially when Maxey and Embiid are not together on the floor, I can absolutely then be like, we're just going to fuck this up. We're going to play zone. We're going to try to turn you over. We're going to make this as miserable as humanly possible.
Yeah.
And that's a strat. And that's what this team has to do, especially in a 1-game sample on the road. Let's make this game as fucking awful as possible.
100%.
Because honestly, what would help Miami, really, they need to win this game, because personally, I think the two best teams in the East are both Boston and Philly, at least as of right now. I mean, if Embiid gets hurt, then obviously things change. But as of right now, it seems like he'll still play. And he's been effective since he came back from that meniscus injury. And yeah, if he can win this game and basically just put Boston and Philly in the first round, that's a win for Miami, because then you get a matchup against a 2 seed that I think you're way more favorable to win against, obviously Boston. And you keep those two teams playing against each other in the first round, so one of them's going to have to lose. And then you only have to face maybe one of them in the Eastern Conference Finals if you end up getting that far on that other side of the bracket. So that they have to win that for them to even really have a good shot at, advancing, not just past the first round, but even past the second and third rounds. That helps them continue that playoff push. And it's the only silver lining that they could basically have with the way the season's played out is if they win that playing game. So they really need to make sure that everybody that can play plays. Love needs to play. They need to get Rozier back in the lineup somehow. And then if Duncan can play, they need a spacing his scoring units off the bench. They need all that shooting, because we need that variance, like Franky was saying. All those guys, we're going to rely on them to hopefully get us just enough offense, because that's really what's going to boil down to. Their defense might be fine with the zone and everything, but if they can't score, then it doesn't really matter.
I think that Philly's not the team that can actually destroy them on offense. I think that Philly doesn't have enough shooting for that to be a problem. I think even if Embiid goes off, I don't think that Philly puts up a 120, point total against Miami. It's just not really. They can, but I just think it's unlikely. And anything can happen. I don't think Miami's defense is bad. I just think that their upside lacks a lot. So a team like Philly, where Miami can do a lot of zone, where they can do very specific things to muck up their offense. I agree with you, Brian, that their defense is going to be able to do enough for them to win the game. It's going to be, can they score enough? And listen, Philly's not the biggest team. I know they have Embiid, but they're pretty small everywhere else on the court. I think that Miami can out rebound them, can help themselves get second shots. They can do some stuff, and it's going to be interesting. The zone makes that difficult. The zone's going to make that tough. for them to do that. I don't know how much switching they're going to do against Embiid. Typically the drop has worked with him, especially kind of later
like
in that
doubling
series.
him too.
Yeah,
Especially
doubling
on like the baseline. If he catches the ball on like each of the
Yeah.
baseline, like they love doing that.
Knicks
And
up
it leads into turnovers.
So Knicks up one with I think Chicago
What's the
has
score?
the ball.
2.1 seconds.
I'm not really sure what's going on. Josh Hart
I'm looking at Gamecast right now. Let's
Yeah, I'm
see.
looking
Okay,
at
yeah,
that.
I see what happened. So Josh Hart had a tip in 1-point game, and now the Knicks have the ball. We'll see. Tiff has a good point. Quietly, the Harris matchup is what she wants to see. Yeah, I mean that's gonna be Jimmy's. That's gonna be where Jimmy's gonna be. DeMar missed a game winner. I think the game's over, according to chat. Although, yeah, okay, DeMar missed a game winner. Okay, so New York's gonna be the 2 seed. That's that.
Do you like that for Miami? Real quick, if Miami,
If they win,
expecting Miami wins this game against
Yeah, I
Philly, and you get New York vice Milwaukee in the first round, you prefer that matchup?
you know what's funny? I actually think I actually think that New York's an inferior team to Milwaukee, but I think that Miami would get up more for the Bucks series. And I think that they respect the Bucks more than they respect the Knicks. And I could totally see the Heat, even as a 7 seed, going into that matchup overconfident, because it's not the first time we've watched them do something like that. And they absolutely
We have like 82 example just
I know Franky's so right. So I would think with the Bucks, they would go in more confident. Now, I absolutely think that Miami can lose against the Knicks if they beat Philly. The issue becomes I don't want to deal with a universe where Miami loses to the Knicks in the Twitter era. The Knicks haven't beaten the Heat since before the internet. I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to live in a world
before Google became a thing.
Before
right?
Nikola Jovic was alive.
When was that last time?
Nikola Jovic has never seen the Knicks beat the Heat in a playoff series, ever. And I don't want to live in a world where that happens. So I don't want to give New York the pleasure of doing that. However, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I could totally see Miami winning that in 5 or 6. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a stack. I'm gonna keep it a stack.
I'm gonna keep it a Nick.
So wait, what's the official standings right now?
The official standings are New York number 2.
Yeah, Milwaukee 3.
number 3.
Why does it still say 2.1 seconds in my thing?
Refresh it probably. Mine's showing it's over.
Cleveland is number 4. Orlando's 5, and Indiana is 6.
Well, my thing's still broken.
So for draft beat news, Heat locked into the 15th pick.
Are they locked in? It even doesn't matter the play-in.
Play-in doesn't matter.
The play-in does not affect the draft status.
Pick. No, it doesn't.
15th pick. Let's go. This is gonna be an exciting season for draft beat.
But you know,
they have already they're 46-35, same record as the Lakers. I think they might have to do like a straw poll or something like that. Or unless do they have a tiebreaker over them?
I think so.
If they have a tiebreaker, then that helps. Either way, 15 pick is pretty good.
You know what else is pretty good?
The draft sucks.
16th goes to the Pelicans, anyways.
Yeah,
the Lakers
and they also keep their second round pick, which is right now scheduled to be the 45th pick.
Let's go.
With my first pick, if I had the first pick in the draft, listen, I'd pick Unified Healing. Because whether you're a world-class athlete or podcaster like me, we all understand the importance of mental and physical well-being and the proper recovery for a top-notch performance. Listen, just like the Heat today, double-digit win, we fucking love it. They actually did a great job, just like Unified Health. And that's why I'm excited that Unified Healing is sponsoring this episode of Miami Heat Beat. Unified Healing is a new and super intuitive global network of wellness centered powered by the Energy Enhancement System, or the EE system. If you haven't heard of the EE system yet, then you're going to want to listen up. This technology promotes wellness, deep relaxation, purification, and rejuvenation. Kevin Love, we need a little rejuvenation. Get you ready for that play-in matchup. Whether you're here or in Miami or hundreds of locations around the world, access to a center is easy and affordable. That means all you guys that aren't in Miami, you have access. This is a national company. And listen, I've talked about this already. I've gone and toured the facilities. We're going to post some videos and some content. Pablo had some fun with me. You're going to see all the great wellness centers that they had. So if you're interested in experiencing the EE system technology for yourself, go to unifiedhealing.com/heatbeat to learn more and find a center near you that is unifydhealing.com/heatbeat. No material testimonial on Unified Healing are intended to be viewed as medical advice or substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare providers with any questions you have regarding a medical condition or treatment and before undertaking a new healthcare regimen like the EE system. Guys, we're back, baby. Back in the postseason. We're back here. We have everything locked in. We have the standing set. We have the matchup set. New York won the game, so they are the 2 seed. That could be the potential opponent for Miami if they win. If they lose to Philly, they're going to have to play the winner of Chicago and Atlanta, which both of the teams that they played in the play-in last season, both matchups that they should be favored to win heavily. Although if they lose this game, then they will be either locked into a playoff rematch with Boston in the first round or they go home with nothing. I would say both those options are pretty undesirable. Chat says I have 5-minute commercials. I can't control the length of which the sponsor gives me the read. Just go support them. Okay. They do a good job. They keep the fucking lights on. Okay. Let's have a little respect for Unified Healing. Okay. Let's have a little respect for unifydhealing.com/heatbeat. Okay. Chat says I literally can't. I actually literally can't. They give me the read and I do it. They say, hey, would you want to try this out? And if you'd like it, would you like to promote us? And I try it out and I was like, you know what? I stand by this. And that's how this works. I don't write the read. They write it. I love them. It's a very intrusive read. It is very long. It is very long. And then there's that.
I'm sorry we don't have an Aloe sponsorship yet. So we're working on it.
I don't know what to do. We need to figure.
You guys are like begging for it at this point.
Chat, chat saying I'm extending the commercial. I just need to, I don't know. If you guys have solutions to make it better, let me know. Tiffany says, hopefully they heat up some Unified Healing.
Oh my God.
I saw a tweet today that says, like, if the power of friendship doesn't work, you just have to kill somebody. I was like, man, if that ain't the heat.
G is saving that special sage for that play-in in case they lose to Philly.
I don't think that should I sage before the play-in? Well, they're not even at home.
Put it up for a chat. Put it up for chat.
But they're not even at home. So it's like
you can save it for the first round.
I think.
But what if they don't make it to the first round? What if they lose?
Then they don't deserve no saging.
I'm with Brian here. I'm not gonna sage if they come back 1-1. I just don't think there's a need to sage right now.
What do you mean 1-1? This could be 0-0 right here.
No, I say if they come back from a first round playoff series 1-1.
Oh, that's when you would want to?
Carliana says G saving the sage is like supposed saving the challenges.
Yeah, they're not gonna stack up here.
Listen, I'm not gonna bother the spirit.
Sage the what's the Panthers arena called? It's no longer Bank Atlantic Center. What is it now?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Whatever. Go sage that arena where the Panthers play because they're gonna need it more than Heat.
Different chat says quietly, I think they beat Philly. I'm not gonna say anything.
Amaranth Bank Arena.
I'm not gonna say anything, but I don't.
There you go.
I'm not scared of Philly. You know what's funny? I hate this team. I hated them all season. I've been mad at them. I think they're not very good. And I'm just not scared of anybody but Boston.
That's it.
I just think that, you know what? This is hilarious because I feel like this is very similar to what happened with the Chiefs going into like their Super Bowl run this year. Like they're going to flip a switch. We all know it. Is it going to be enough to get them all the way to the finals? We'll see.
I don't know if they're going to flip the switch the way you think.
Yeah, I don't think we all know it. Like you're extra confident.
No, they're going to make a fucking living hell in the first round. And then like, you know, what's going to happen? Like after that, Jimmy Butler's going to get like an ankle injury. And then we're like, oh my God, is he going to be coming back? And like, he's going to miss like a game or two. And then we're going to be struggling in the second round. Maybe we make it to a game 7 and we win that series and we go to the Eastern Conference Finals. We play Boston. Everybody's hurt. And yeah, that becomes the end of the season. I honestly don't want it to end like that, but I feel like that's what's going to happen because they're going to make it so hard on themselves early in the rounds. By the time they get to the later rounds, they don't have enough juice.
In honor of Tiff, Max Strus ain't walking through that door. They lose that first game. There could be no switch to flip.
Tiff thinks that Jimmy's just going to go all out to beat Philly. That Jimmy's not going to lose to Tobias Harris.
Yeah, you can't honestly.
I'm kind of happy that they're playing Philly over Orlando because you know they would have not played well against Orlando. They would have taken that matchup way too lightly.
Did Max Strus really have a triple double today?
Yeah,
yes, he did.
That is so funny.
But they didn't play any injured players. They
doesn't
benched
matter.
everybody.
That doesn't
I mean,
matter.
they could have finished with a 2 seed, I think. No, oh no, New York would have still gotten 2 seed.
I
But
feel
they
like
could have finished as a 3 seed.
You know who wanted the 2 seed? Tom Thibodeau played his dudes
Yep.
50 fucking minutes.
I don't get Cleveland.
Guts.
I don't understand Cleveland.
Like as a concept.
I don't understand Milwaukee either.
As a city.
As a
I don't
concept.
understand either of those two teams. Why would you not want a high seed? Like, why would you want to bench all your guys the last game? if
They're
you're
afraid
Milwaukee?
of Philly. They're all
Who gives a
afraid of
fuck?
Philly.
Get the 2 seed. You want
Well, Milwaukee
here-
played Dame today. They tried to win.
They played Dame today, but they didn't play in the last game.
They won the last game.
No, they didn't.
Did they not win?
No.
No, Bucks lost 2 in a row.
And then like Cleveland, like you could have literally finished with a 3 seed. Now you're stuck with the 4 seed. You're gonna you get the Magic. You could probably win that first round matchup, but you're gonna lose against the Boston Celtics in the second round anyway. So like, what are you doing? You should have stayed on that side of the bracket.
Tiff gotta come kick
Fucking
your ass
losers.
for talking down Max triple double.
Well, that team's a fucking loser.
You know what?
Besides Max Strus.
You know what's funny? This year the Heat actually finished with a positive point differential.
No way.
Yeah, a plus 1.7. Last year they were like negative 0.7.
That's so
It's
funny.
just because of that
And-
60-point blowout win.
And they're so much more frustrating than last year.
I hate them so much more than last year.
You know how Kurt Goldsberry has like that last 10 like net rating for offense and defense?
Yeah.
Miami's like a top 5 team on both ends of the floor, but it's all skewed because of that one game against the Trailblazers.
Yeah. It's been bad. It's been an unfun year, but I still think they can make a run. Absolutely. I don't
A run to where?
to the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah,
I think they can get to the Eastern Conference Finals, yes.
I think Boston's the only.
But they
team,
have to win this playing game to get there.
Yeah. I think Boston's the only team that I'm like doubtful, but Boston has a lot of guys that haven't performed historically and haven't been able to stay healthy. Porzingis actually maintained his health all season, and he's due. I'm not rooting for it, but he's like this would be the first year he stays healthy for a whole playoff run as well.
And if he gets the Sixers in the first round, he's gonna have to start defending Embiid.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't have much depth. Al Horford is 37 years old.
He's gonna flop his way into his knee. That's gonna happen.
I actually think that Miami waiting to get Boston later is beneficial because
I think so too.
They could get banged up and they might even play like a wounded team by the end of the playoffs. Not that they wouldn't be wounded also, but if they're both wounded, I trust Miami a little bit more.
Right. And Boston has limited depth as is. They historically haven't trusted their depth in the matchups against the Heat.
They usually go like 7 or 8 deep max.
Yeah, and by the end of the series, it's always down to 6.
And it's always Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown playing like 48 minutes a game.
Yeah, that's where their problems have lied a lot of the times. But I don't know. I would rather face them later for that reason. But it all depends on this matchup against Philly. They're being awake for this. Jimmy has to really perform. I know you guys talked about Tobias Harris, but it's also Kyle because he wasn't attacking Kyle last game when they needed the win, and he needs to take advantage of it. Because
how?
He needs to go at him. He was not looking to attack.
He was going at him the wrong ways. He was like posting him up, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, but he was also posting him up so high. Like that's
Bro,
the one thing Kyle's
I've
still good at.
Kyle
Go by
Lowry
him.
for a long time. You do not post him up.
No, you do not.
You do not. You do other things to him. That is
Right.
the one thing you don't do.
Right.
He's a log.
You're not going to get by him like that. Like use your quickness, use your strength,
quickness, put him
use
in
your
pick and
height.
roll. Use quickness, size, all that. Frankie's absolutely right.
Like there was too many possessions where Jimmy's on the 18 feet out and he's just waiting for somebody to move or come set a screen. And I'm like, go at Kyle. You got the one-on-one matchup right now. I like Kyle. He's still a good defender, but like, what are you doing?
They got to go at Maxey and really.
But that's the thing. Their Nurse is going to put the scheme in place to guard Maxey and to put enough wing and defenders around him. Batum has been a big help in this matchup for Philly. He's done a really good job on everybody for Miami. And they have a lot of guys to throw length at him. Tobias is the other guy, like you mentioned earlier, that Jimmy's had a lot of success at going against. But there's no like Danny Green that he would pick on, and Maxey. That there's a lot more size and bigger wings, like real forwards that play on this Philly team.
So we're set. By the way, if the Heat do make the playoffs, big congratulations to them for not being the NBA TV series. That's going to be Cavs Orlando. Cavs Orlando. I saw Kenny Spence tweet out, "This is when you get your errands done." I actually like when we have a bad series because it makes the other ones bangers and it gives you a break. It's like, okay, I gotta go grocery shopping. I gotta fucking take out the trash. I got a lot of shit to do. And we need that. I have people in my group chats alleging that this is the most win-win matchup for me. I don't like Philly. I don't want Philly to win. I don't like them. I think that city stinks. I think that team is awful. I hate Joel Embiid. I think the uniforms are disgusting. I don't like anything about that place. It is one of the worst cities, if you can call it that, in America. It's a fucking town, bro. And it's awful. It's awful.
They're a bunch of what? Say it.
Quakers. I'm sick of them. Everything closes early.
You blew it. Come on.
No, they don't deserve it. I'll do it when we beat them. God,
G needs a Philly diss track with all these.
Listen. I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
Today
has been a rough day. Today's been a rough sports day. The Heat.
I'm sorry, Liverpool lost.
The Heat don't get out of the play. Not only, listen, I was gonna wear my Liverpool hat, and I said no because of how upset I was. They lost to Crystal Palace today. It's always fucking Crystal Palace.
Fucking Crystal.
It's like their first home loss in the league, and I don't know how
Disney
long.
restaurant.
It was bad. It was bad, and they likely have lost their chance at winning the league. And I'm pissed. And I'm fucking pissed. And then the Heat come out and they give me this bullshit today where they blow the Raptors out. And I was like, where was this against Washington? As Alf so eloquently said, this is the one I'll never forgive. And it's Heat Wizards. So
they also lost to the Grizzlies G League team with the Heat fully healthy.
What's the worst? As we close out the show, what was the worst loss this season?
What was the worst loss this season? All of them.
Chat, what do you think? Chat, what do you think?
Honestly, that 7-game losing streak was so fucking deflating.
Yeah.
I had to sage the arena. I had to bring it back for that.
I still think it was that Memphis game because they had everybody available and Jimmy just didn't show up.
God, that's so true, bro. That Memphis game was bad and the Wizards game was bad.
Like
that Dallas loss recently was really bad too. That was
you know which one's the worst one? Here's the worst one. The one where they were up like 30 points against the Knicks.
Oh, that was a bad one.
That was so bad, bro.
And that was like entering almost like the fourth quarter. They were up like 30 or something like that. And didn't they do the same thing against the Chicago Bulls too? They did like the same thing in like the same week. Yeah, I'm picking the next one though because they should have won that game.
So many games they should have fucking won.
I think it's the Wizards game, but you might be right with the Grizzlies G League game. I actually think. And yeah.
Jimmy, Bam, and Tyler, none of them got 20 points that game. But you know who did? Vince Williams.
Most recent Knicks loss.
I love how Chad is just these are the three. Those are the three games.
Yeah, that was the Knicks game in November. That was the most recent Knicks loss. Most recent Knicks loss was the one where we lost Josh Richardson, and then they lost Randall. No,
yeah,
no, Richardson was the Celtics game.
That was the Celtics.
Got hurt. Same week though. Was another game that they lost that was like really disappointing. I mean, they lost really bad to the Magic that one time here in Orlando.
They lost to Philly recently without. They lost the Philly game without Joel.
They
lose to the Pistons this year?
No, they did not.
No, almost did.
Thank God. They almost started. That was how they started their season.
Yeah, multiple times. But I mean, they beat them with a buzzer beater.
Wasn't even the only time.
Yeah.
I remember when they hit the buzzer beater against Chicago. I felt nothing, and that to me kind of told me all I needed to know about this season. I felt nothing. I felt nothing.
What was your best one?
At Milwaukee. And that's just nothing close.
That's literally it.
Yeah.
I thought the Knicks game might have been their best game. Most recent one.
No.
I thought that was fun. I thought that was a fun game.
The Knicks were injured and they almost blew that lead. No. That almost became bad. The chances Portland by 60, I'd agree with you, but I just think that Portland's such a bad team. It was funny. It was the funniest game of the season.
That was the funnest win for like the fan base.
Yeah, that was for us.
All the tweets about Cronin. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
It really just didn't
Don't
tell me.
settle.
It didn't tell me anything about the team.
Moleskin.
Yeah, Moleskin. So, folks, the play-in is set. By the way, shout out to Alf for like 2.5 hours ago tweeting "It's a wrap" when they were up. Love got hurt, and Alf goes, "Love is hurt. It's a wrap." That's a team player. I'm just not gonna lie. That's a team player. Alf did his part. Alf did his part, and we did our part. Every chat.
The Sixers are 4-point faves for a playing game.
4-point favorites?
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Oh, you know, I'll say the best win was the Cleveland game where Terry went off at the end.
That was a fun game too.
I
But I don't think that was their best.
I did not watch that game. I was at KYU with Christian.
That was a great game. The Cleveland was a little shorthanded, missing Mobley and Mitchell, but I was on the road.
The other one I think of is the one at Cleveland on the second night of a back-to-back where they were missing Jimmy and Lowry went off.
Yeah,
that was a good one for them, which is why I kind of wanted to play Cleveland. Kind of like that.
Heat were missing Bam and Tyler like against the Cavs as well.
Yeah, it was really the Kyle show. The Kyle show.
Yeah.
So, was Scoot really a -70?
He was like a -60. It was like a record though, and it was his like second. It wasn't even like his worst one. I think he had like a -62 or something. I don't remember. He was like the first player to have multiple -60s in a season.
That's so fucking funny.
This is the first year that Miami hasn't won the division since 2018-19. This is the first year since really the only year with Jimmy Butler on the roster that they haven't won the division. The Magic finally took over.
Really, the Magic in the
Heat was a -58.
They've been the only ones. You're right, Brian. You're right. It's been that long because Atlanta didn't win that one year.
Or no, maybe Atlanta did get over them that one year where they went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
No, because I think Miami was the 6th seed and Atlanta was the 7th seed.
Oh, you might be right.
This game is fun.
Now I'm looking.
Atlanta was the 4-5 because they beat New York.
That was 2020-21.
Atlanta won the division that year. Atlanta for sure won the division because they were the 4 seed. They were the 5 seed, and Miami was the 6 seed. So Atlanta won the division that year.
This game was so funny. Jimmy had a +42 and had 8 points.
No, the Hawks were the 5th seed and the Heat were the 6th seed.
Yeah. So Atlanta won the division.
Okay, never mind. So second time in the Jimmy Butler era that they've
2 out of 5.
Is this they won the division last year?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how bad.
That's how bad the East was, or at least our side of the division was.
I mean, this is a division with Charlotte and Washington.
Jeez.
It's been pretty rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, I think that's what we got for you today. Tune in tomorrow for our collab with 5 Reasons, and then on Tuesday we'll bring you a proper Miami Heat beat preview, breaking down the nitty gritty of the match. Maybe we'll get a guest on to talk about that as well. So appreciate you guys for another season, man. 10th regular season, 11th year doing this. I can't think of anything in my life that's more fulfilling than this. I can't think of friends I'd rather do it with. I can't think of a team I'd rather cover. Well, that's not true. I'd rather cover a good team. But I do love this franchise for better or for worse, even though the organization might not like me personally very much, but I still love them, even if I hate them sometimes. And I love our audience. You guys make this more than anything. Every time any of you come up to me in public and say very kind things to me, it's always incredibly strange to me that people listen to me that way and that you guys exist in the real world and not just behind the screen. But it's appreciated every single time, and I get thrown back. I get blown away by the nice things that you guys say, and the fact that you guys show up. And I don't really have anything eloquent to say. I've talked a lot about what you guys mean to me, but
I'll say one thing. Like, it was really cool because I got a chance to go to the finals last year, and the game I went to, I sat in a section where literally the security guard that was there recognized me right away. He was like, "Brian, you're from Heat Beat, right?" And he's like, I was like amazed that he remembered me, and
that's a deep cut.
And he was talking all about how much he loved Hangover Time, And I'm hoping that we'll see what happens. We don't really know officially if we're going to bring him back or not. But if the Heat do make it far in the playoffs, I do think maybe we might have at least an episode return.
Gee, look in the chat real quick.
Huh?
Look in the chat.
Hold on, wait,
or segment. I would love a segment of just like all the hits.
Yeah.
That'd be
yeah,
fun.
we should do that. But Frankie, I don't know if you have any as I get what you just sent me.
I want a fucking receipts against the fucking Knicks. That's what I want.
Oh my
Part
god.
2.
Where they're calling Bam the Magic Johnson of dirty plays with no look elbows
please,
and swinging his legs around. Oh
I
my god.
need that.
I'm so tired
that would
of
be
the
like
Knicks.
winning the
I want the
championship.
Knicks so bad. I want the
You know
Knicks.
what?
You
so
want
bad.
the Knicks?
The championship
I want the
is
Knicks
beating the
so
Knicks in
bad.
the first round.
I want the Knicks so bad. I don't even care like how the season goes. I just want to beat the
I
Knicks.
want to sweep them. That'd be hilarious if we could just sweep them.
I want to beat them so bad that they cry.
Heat in 5 would be fun.
Bam, short
You know what? Fuck it. Heat in 5.
All right, so Frankie really wanted to end the show on this clip. I have not watched it. We'll watch it all together. So we have Thanasis going.
Thanasis.
Oh my god.
And the entire Magic bench. That was good. Let's watch that again.
Thanasis missing a wide open dunk in
breakaway
transition.
dunk. That's so
Two-hand.
Magic talking spicy. Magic talking spicy.
We need hangover time back for that play.
So bad.
Let's start that play.
See y'all Monday. Peace.